Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to Sundays with Janelle. Yeah, no, I'm not being sexy today. Sorry about that. But
I'll
it
be
is it
sexy.
it is
I'll be
Sunday.
your sexy daddy. Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah. I'm so sexy.
it's obviously reverse day today. Our little gray aliens getting all
I will give you
sexy
a
with this
spanking.
two ladies here. Oh, you wanting a spanking? You want to have some fun? Oh, you saw the penitent armor, and you that got you all hot
Hey,
and
you want to wear the
bothered.
penitent armor?
I would totally love the penitent armor. I would rock that shit, man.
Take pictures. I want to see.
Totally. Well, especially if you get me in one of those jack leg configurations.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You know, yeah, I'd totally do that. Hi, Janelle.
Hi. Evening, everyone. How's everybody's Sunday going?
Going pretty good. Been got some artwork done. Got some checked off some things on the honey-do list on the house. Ishi cleaned the garage, which is so sweet of him.
Well, a big chunk of it. And
What?
for the love of shit, can't this book be done?
Oh no.
Motherfucker. You know, it's like, okay, you got to cover this. Yeah.
Does it help? I'm now specifying. This just needs one or two sentences, not telling you to write an entire new essay.
Well, you realize when I tackled the Tifa Lockhart thing,
Yes.
that had been 3 paragraphs.
Yes.
The Tifa Lockhart, the whole thing about do boobs really scare women away?
Yeah.
It made one chapter grow into 3. Now that chapter that you asked me, that thing with Tifa Lockhart,
it's necessary.
It's about to split off to yet another fucking chapter. The book's going to double in size because of this.
What are you splitting off to another chapter?
Is
that all the stuff you found about Final Fantasy?
No. Remember all that stuff I had you read?
Yeah.
That's 7,800 words.
Oh, okay.
And I still have to get to Lara Croft.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, okay, is this going to be like a 12,000 word chapter, or do I split it into 2 and just give Lara her own? And
oh, okay.
Because I can't cover this without covering.
Well, Laura is woman enough to deserve her own chapter. I'm only saying that half joking.
Well, Laura changed the face of females in video games, in my opinion.
Did. No, she did.
I know a lot of people say Samus, but I think that was just because Samus was a female. Although it was like, whoa, this is the first time we've seen a female protagonist. But I don't know what it was about Lara Croft, but I mean, she really changed the face of females in games with those pointy big boobs.
Mm-hmm.
That teenagers would they were jerking to broadband porn with her.
Oh God, yeah. Again, there's the code to make her go naked, which basically meant that she just turned peach all the way across. But no, I agree because before Laura, for the most part, I'm gonna be honest. Female characters were just sex appeal and not much else. I mean, there was Mortal Kombat, which was just funny, but for the most part, it was sex appeal, which there's nothing wrong with that. But she was the first female character who really, truly had as big a personality as her bust line. And
oh, absolutely. I was pissed when they remade the games and they shrunk her bust line, and it was all about like going after the men. And when I say not the men, like cops. No, they weren't cops, but I don't know, like there was that one scene, I can't remember which Tomb Raider game it was that came out. It was one of the reboots, but she almost gets raped and then she takes him out. And it's like, fuck, did we need that? No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. But no strong independent woman is complete without at least an attempted, if not an actual rape scene.
Okay, I want to know why the fuck that is. Really? Because there are so many female protagonists out there that have shown that they're badass without having to evade a rape. I don't understand. And now it's a really tired fucking trope. I'm over it.
No, I'm with you. But I swear a huge part of it is that there is a certain class of female out there who cannot have a strong, independent woman without her overcoming abuse. And it's because there are some women out there, they get a huge lady boner for women getting abused by men. That way they can say, oh, this is a sexist asshole and it's okay for me to hate him. It's okay for me to rip his balls off. It's okay for me to want horrible, awful things to happen to him. And they literally get off on it. And I swear it feeds into that fantasy. You can't have a woman simply being strong by herself because then the other women, well, they're victims and that's bad. But if all women are victims and then some overcome it, well, that's different. But if you have a strong woman who's strong just on her own naturally, well, what's that make the victims? Makes them weak.
Okay, that's really disgusting because I have actually seen domestic abuse firsthand. I mean, not secondhand, third hand. I watched it firsthand. And that's not something to fetishize and be like, I'm a strong woman because I overcame that. I have seen the aftermath of what that does, and that's fucking disgusting.
Well, there's a study I might end up mentioning. Aidan Paladin did a whole video on, does diversity and representation in media really make a difference? And one of the things that she came across was there were multiple studies about what women really resonated to. And apparently more women didn't make the story. Women didn't actually care if there were more women in the story. What they wanted were blank slates, would increase viewership or playing of the game if they were a blank slate that they could map themselves on. They didn't really want personalities. Or if a movie or game had a scene of a woman being horribly abused by a man, leaps and bounds, higher ratings. That got the highest score with women.
That's fucking gross. No one. No, I was gonna say Game of Thrones, but I mean, okay. So
no. Apparently, in general, when there's television shows, anything involving torture, women will actually have a higher viewership.
Ew.
Yeah,
it's absolutely true, and it's apparently also why Court TV had so many women viewing all the CSI type shows and all the shows about the various sexual assaults. Apparently, that was largely female viewership. I don't know why.
That's weird because I was gonna say, like, when I've watched shows and movies too, some torture scenes I can handle, but like, okay, Hostel was one movie I had to nope out halfway through. I was like, no, this is too much torture porn for me. There was you're gonna laugh too, the show Lost. There was one scene where Saeed was torturing the con artist guy, and he shoved bamboo things under his fingernails. I noped out on that one too. But you watch a good military movie, and I'm like, yeah, I can handle the torture scenes, but not all the time. I must be weird.
No.
I have a thing with fingernails, and even just the mention of bamboo shoots. Just I immediately.
Oh, did I just give you cringy
okay.
feelings? I'm sorry.
It's perfectly fine, but it's just like, ugh.
Okay, let me share
My
a little bit of
kryptonite is eyes. Anything that has to do with eyes, and like Hostel. Like halfway through that movie, they were doing shit with eyes, and I was like, I am done with this fucking film.
Now, again, the most torturous part of this book is I can see the horizon. It is nearly done, but it's also about doubled in size in the process of being nearly done. It's driving me nuts. But I need to share what I wrote, okay? Just a little something from today.
Okay.
Now, this, the prior section is about the ethics department deeming that Tifa's boobs were unethical for Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
Yeah.
You know about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it's Anita Sarkeesian, the gaming press, or a faceless ethics department, for over a decade now, they've all been beating the same ideological drum. For all their cries about diversity, inclusivity, and equity, in practice, it's the radical belief that virtual women with virtual tatas is fundamentally wrong, dangerous even. So at what size does a digital breast become unethical? For Tifa Lockhart, it was 32F. For Scarlet, that's from Mortal Kombat, it was 36B. So what about the queen mother of all video game badasses? How did the mighty Lara Croft fare in the war on womanly curves? Not so good. While the team at Square Enix refused to compromise below an F cup for Tifa Lockhart, Crystal Dynamics has given Croft the Barbie treatment. With each iteration since 2012, the most recognizable game character in all the world has gotten a little flatter, a little plainer, and a whole lot less curvier. Once known for her signature double D chest, the buxom treasure hunter was deflated all the way down to a 32 double A cup when actress Alicia Vikander was selected to play Croft in the 2018 Tomb Raider reboot. Indeed, it's what had been done to Croft over the years that had Final Fantasy fans so worried about Tifa. So,
yeah.
To go on about Scarlet real quick, just it was either Mortal Kombat 9 or 10. I think it was 9. Was when they finally made Scarlet an actual character. She was a DLC, and
she was super hot.
She was hot, and she was into blood play. And I mean, that was, that was nasty, but it was like, you knew it was nasty because they like to push the envelope. That's one thing I liked about the Mortal Kombat series. They pushed the envelope. They went as crazy as they could, but still made it fun. But I mean, I remember there was one scene when she won, she would lay down and just like be bathing in blood and giggling. And it's just like, that is the most twisted pinup I've ever seen in my life. And the Ed Boon, I believe it was Ed Boon that was still with the company, said that they always pushed the envelope with the character Melina. And part of the joke was because she had, butterface, that she would have less and less clothes each iteration of the game because she was so fucking ugly, but she had a smoking hot body to the point that I don't know if anybody remembers, but her alternate outfit in either 9 or 10 was just medical bandages strategically placed, like over the nipples and basically over her vagina, like kind of in a G-string. And she fought that way. And she was even they actually made, I wish I had not lost the Playboy. She was one of the covers of Playboy where she had her size strategically placed over her breasts as the pinup. And it was amazing. It was some of the most beautiful art I'd ever seen. It was from NetherRealm. Yeah, it was NetherRealm. So they used to push the envelope with sexy, and sometimes to the point of absurd sexy. But it was fun because I'm not gonna lie, I would sit there and see if they actually did jiggle fit. I was gonna say jizzle. Jiggle physics, and I would make the girls jump to see if their boobs bounced. And if the boobs bounced, I meant the game was working.
Well, I think the thing with Mortal Kombat is everything in that game was over the top to the point of just ridiculous. And the political incorrectness was what it was built on. That was the brand. If you bought a Mortal Kombat game, the violence was going to be to the point of absurdity. The sexual overtones were just going to be so fucking blatant.
Well, and it was the whole point of each iteration was just, okay, how much more brutal is this one going to be?
And then the humor. It was full of warped humor.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The idea to censor it, the claim from the manufacturers, or no, it was the game director. Oh, we wanted more respectful designs. It's like in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
You can take your respectful designs and shove it up your ass, because I did not buy Mortal Kombat 11 because of that. And I am a hardcore Mortal Kombat fan. And I watched some of the ending. There's always an ending for each play or each character.
Yeah.
Jax all of a sudden decided that he was going to use the power of time, because that's what you become, the god of time at the end, whoever wins, and make it where Africans weren't enslaved. And he basically created Wakanda. I shit you not, people, look it up.
What?
It was so out of character for Jax, because Jax was the leader of the special forces that were going in and fighting the outworld incursions. And so, like, all of a sudden, it was like he didn't care about the outworld incursions or making sure his daughter didn't follow. Like, his daughter ends up joining the military too, and he, is always worried about his daughter Jackie, possibly getting killed by Shao Kahn and his troops, or
Yeah.
Naga, or whichever big bad they were fighting for the games. Just like, Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage got married and had a kid named Cassie. And he was more worried about being, in fact, and I think it was the 10th game, he finally retires and he becomes like a farmer. And all of a sudden now he wants Wakanda in the 11th game. It made no sense.
What?
Yeah, that ending got trashed. But I mean, you also noticed that all the hot chicks in the game. Is that the guy that said,
Yes, that is the douchebag.
Yeah, okay. That guy gave furries a bad name. I'd actually like to hear Wolf's opinion about that guy.
What do you do about what do you do with furries?
Well, he's a furry. Sonic Fox? Yeah.
Oh.
And I would really like to hear Wolf's take on it. So, like, next time we have him on, I'd like to question about how he felt about that. But yeah, I mean, look how fucking hot Melina is. Just, yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, and the thing was, writing this chapter, getting into the argument, I decided to use. The thing with the book is each chapter I try to take a few cases, or have example cases of what had happened. So with comics, I use Power Girl as the example, and and Harley Quinn is the flip side of that. I use Friday for the sci-fi world, Heinlein's book Friday. For television, I use She-Ra as the example, right? And when I got into the section about, well, do busty characters and idealized heroines really scare girls away from reading your books or playing your games? And so I used Tifa Lockhart and Lara Croft. And my God, that opened a rabbit hole, a Pandora's box of just stuff, of insanity.
I think video games, over all mediums, is like the most attacked as far as you and busty women goes, and the quote unquote the depiction of women. I mean, maybe it's because other mediums actually do require you to have a story, where video games, you don't need to have a story.
Well, that's kind of unfair, because when you're playing a video game, you don't have, like a fighting game, right? Mortal Kombat. You don't have time to tell a whole fucking narrative.
No, you don't.
It's not like Final Fantasy, where there's a gigantic narrative to dig into and live, right? For a lot of these games, you need to know that character on sight, especially if it comes to fighting style or what they're about. So it's like, okay, I want the bruiser. Oh, well, it's the big guy there with the... It's the big Russian. Okay.
Yeah.
Or the really fat sumo wrestler.
You don't need to look at their stats. You just need to look at the character.
Yeah, Zangief and E Honda.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need anything else more than that. So there's this visual narrative, and it's very important. Very, very important. So, yeah. And to say, oh, well, you can't have sexy women. You can't have these kinds of bodies anymore, because it's unrealistic. It's unattainable. Fuck off.
I think one reason I took major umbrage with Mortal Kombat and Melina is because that's my go-to player character. I always play her. So I love the fact she was over the top, big, busty, had abs. And, I actually appreciated that they tried to even kind of make her face a little hot over time. And, like, they stopped making her look like Baraka and, kind of altered her face. So she had these... Remember when you were telling me about... oh God, who was it that did for Alien 3, the kissing alien?
Oh, Geiger.
Yeah. They kind of made her mouth look like that. Like, she had a great pair of dick sucking lips, but you could still see her teeth bulging out, like had cut out through the sides. So I'll have to find the image for you and send it to you. But then because, she shouldn't be based on her looks. They gave her back, not only did they stop making her sexy, they gave her back the ugly Baraka face for Mortal Kombat 11.
Of
So
course.
they purposely made her ugly for that game because it was, empowerment to women because they don't have to be sexy. I'm like, half the fun of Melina is she's so hot that you want her to suck your dick, knowing that she's probably going to bite it off anyway. Like that, seriously. That's the appeal of her. I mean, you hear that term, don't stick your dick in crazy. She's crazy and you want to stick your dick in it. I mean, that's the best way I can explain her. But yeah, for whammon.
Yeah.
Ugh, ruining my games, damn it.
Read this one.
Fizz, is it strange that Nozumui, I slaughtered his name, sorry, Tamaki's only respect for Power Girl is to have a stand-in be raped constantly?
Is that Don't Meddle with My Daughter? I just read that.
I loved Don't Meddle with My Daughter. I even wrote a full review of it. I liked it so much.
That's such a fucked up manga. I love it.
But the thing is it wasn't just kind of ecchi, right? It actually, you read the first one, you think, okay, this is just a fun parody. But then there starts to be depth and all this. It's like, wait a minute, this is an actual superhero story. And it asks the daring question, what if American superheroes or heroines had to deal with the shit that Japanese ones do? Especially all the villainous perverts.
That's one thing I liked about it was when she was the eighth wonder, she was always humiliated because her clothes were ripped off her and she was always put in compromised positions.
Which was essentially her kryptonite. And of course, that's only funny if you understand Japanese society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Her weakness is embarrassment. Of course, then at the same time, when the pleasure monster tried to get her, she fucked it to death.
Are you talking about the little Shop of Horrors monster?
Yeah.
Oh God, that was my favorite.
I thought the funniest part was when the guy who could turn into a shadow followed her home as her shadow and was like peeping on her. And it just goes horribly wrong.
He's all weirded out by the fact she's just a normal mom.
And she makes money doing a blog and giving out advice about parenting. And it's like,
yeah, he's like, this isn't what I was expecting. And he's just like, he stops doing his mission, instead pays attention to what she's writing on her blog.
And then finally she kind of gets horny, so she goes to the drawer to pull out a dildo, and it's like this horrifying device. And he's like, oh yeah, now we're talking. And it goes terribly wrong for him. Terribly, terribly wrong.
I think my favorite was the guy that actually ends up being her husband, but he's younger. When she gets turned into a sex drone and they're getting it on, and when he comes, he uses his explosion powers to knock her out when he comes. And she has like the greatest orgasm of her life before fainting.
And yet,
Jesus, that's great.
Yet for all the perverse humor in that, you could tell that these were he loved the genre and these were heroic characters. And the backstory of where all the superheroes or the superpowered people all came from was genius.
Oh, but it was so fucked up.
And yeah, it was horribly fucked up to find out where all the villains came from.
Yeah. I had a good laugh from it. At first, I was like, wait, did I go onto a doujinshi site? Is that how you say it? The doujinshi?
I don't know.
Basically their version of fan fiction. Like, did I accidentally end up on one of their sites and I was reading that, but I went through the reviews. I was like, oh no, holy shit, this is for real.
I own all three of the manga.
Oh, see, I got them online. I got them digitally. I didn't want to have that where Chris could possibly accidentally find it because he accidentally found my Crying Freeman set.
Oh no!
Oh yeah! It's like, oh shit! Luckily, he was young enough at the time frame that like it didn't stick in his brain. But I about pissed my pants when I saw him pull out like volumes through. I was like, no!
You get the slow-mo trying to run towards it.
Pretty much.
Volume 3 the one where he has his sex adventure?
He has a sex adventure every volume. Like, that's part of the prowess of him, is he's able to use his sexual prowess from his conditioning to be able to screw women and make them fall in love with him and then spill their guts about everything that he needs. And then they basically become subservient to him. But the only woman he truly loves is his wife.
Wonder why they cut that from the live action movie.
Yeah.
Because that was just the first part of the first manga. Like, the story is phenomenal. I mean, there's a lot of sex and violence, don't get me wrong. And there's a lot of nudity where they fight a lot in the nude. But it's supposed to be kind of, yeah, that's what I was talking about. The dick sucking lips with the teeth. See, she's hot and
That's
you
a
want to
great
stick your dick
design.
in it, but you shouldn't stick your dick in it.
That is a brilliant design. It stays true to
Yeah.
the original, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's a monster, but she's still really fucking hot. And she is one of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat. I love her.
and I'll have you know that in this chapter I've been writing,
Mm-hmm.
I really, really tear into Sarkeesian.
Oh, good.
I tear into that bitch hard.
Her and Zoe Quinn and Brianna Wu really fucked it for the rest of us women that love video games.
You know what? Those, if it hadn't been I don't think it would have been so bad if not for Sarkeesian. The other two did damage. Sarkeesian, poor little rich girl, has tons of connections. How, why, I don't know, but she has connections. I mean, you do not get named Humanist of the Year by Harvard University without connections. You don't get a fucking Peabody Award for your stupid little video series without connections.
You don't go in front of the UN to whine that people are calling you a liar and telling you to go to hell.
Yeah, she has connections.
You heard what she did to her two co-hosts on Feminist Frequency, right?
No.
So she took the money and ran, and one of her co-hosts was a trans woman who was basically e-bagging and working at a GameStop.
Oh, wait, that dude, she fucked him over?
Yeah, they were e-bagging and saying that they couldn't even make it to paycheck. Meanwhile, she had just bought like another home and was in Europe having the time of her life.
God.
And that got memory hold, but I remember it. It got memory hold quick on Twitter because people were pointing it out. It was like, if this woman is such a feminist and she's supposed to be an ally to trans women, why did she fuck over one of her co-hosts? Yeah, that's the new one. That is so tragic.
That's a crappy design.
I'm like, yeah.
It's Baraka with a wig.
All right.
Yeah, they made all of their female characters boring.
Ladies, do you feel empowered by this image? Do you feel like this is a game that welcomes you to play it with this image because she's not hot? I mean, even if you cover up that mouth, she doesn't look all that attractive.
No.
No.
And they really hit her with the ugly stick.
Did you see Katana, the twin?
Yeah.
She doesn't look any better either.
Yeah,
And Scarlet looks awful. And Jade looks awful. And oh my God, what they did to Sonya Blade. Like they made all the women ugly. And there was no reason for that. I mean,
well, yeah. No, they said they wanted something that was more respectable.
That wasn't respectable.
I know.
No.
And besides, when 95% of your audience are males 18 to 60 who like to play the game for the brutal violence and the hot women, and you do that, no wonder your game bombs.
You know, I don't care who you are. I think it's respectable if, you can rip somebody's spine out of their body, Does it really matter what she's wearing?
I think Melina actually had one of the fatalities where she would actually get off while killing the person. And you can tell that she's having an orgasm while she's doing it. And I think that was also Mortal Kombat 9.
See, that's fun.
Yeah, it's hysterical.
And again, with characters like Melina, she's not human. Does it matter?
No, she's a hybrid clone.
And like, what the fuck is no? Really, it's they don't want hot. They hate females. They hate females, especially ones that are hot.
Well, it's because they're not hot. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't mean to be mean, but
No.
these are all the girls that weren't hot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what the fuck?
I don't know.
Janelle shudders with pleasure as she got her bearings of the large figure in front of her. The Sasquatch was 7 feet tall and powerfully built, with masculine muscles. Janelle could feel his hot breath. Wow.
I have no idea.
I have no fucking clue.
Okay.
That was the most random shit I've ever read. Oh,
Well,
shit.
I think I'm a little jealous. Somebody wrote Sasquatch porn fanfic about you. That's amazing.
I know, right? Man, I'm coming up in the world. This is awesome. Shit, my eyes are watering, so I'm laughing.
Okay, so I've got to address a few
You have
things.
to tell Steve later.
I know he's gonna love it.
But yes, what do you need to address or undress?
No, address. There are things that must be mentioned.
Okay.
First is, and I hope she's okay with me using her name, I want to thank Martha Pearson for providing me this wonderful piece of birthday art that she sent my way on my birthday.
It's cute.
Wait, was your birthday?
April 1st.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even know. Well, happy belated birthday.
Yeah, we had a birthday show where I actually got drunk off 2 shots because my stomach was empty.
Yeah.
It was 2 shots of sake, and I'd forgotten to eat. So I'm figuring, okay, I'll be fine. I
need to go back and listen to that show. I haven't had a chance to listen on weekends. And well, now I'm doing weekends with you guys. But I need to listen.
Sasquatch cock.
Oh, man. I know what I'm suggesting to Steve in the bedroom tonight.
His Sasquatch. So does that have any connection to Dr. Squatch and then that grooming stuff?
You're not a dish. You're a man.
I love their commercials.
Yeah.
I actually love them so much. I bought Steve some Dr. Squatch. That shit's actually really good. I stole it from him, used it for myself.
I've been considering it. And yes, it was squarely, it's that, you're a man pitch. I'm like, okay, I'm listening.
Oh, yeah. I love the fact they're like, don't use girly shit on your man meat.
Yes.
Like, that's awesome.
So
no, it's good product.
The next thing I wanted to bring up is somebody sent us a book. Or sent me a book, I guess.
It was addressed to you.
And did not include who it's from. So that's kind of a mystery at this point. It's called The War of the Poppies. Or is it... Sorry.
The Poppy War.
The Poppy War by R.F. Kwang.
So thank you.
So thank you, whoever sent that. I will be checking it out. Once I'm no longer reading stuff purely for research about boobs.
What are you looking for? She's flipping through pictures.
There it is.
Ah.
And then Raltz sent me something as well. And he sent this my way.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's right on my laptop now. On the one I write with. Now, yeah, it's supposed to be for your car, but it's on my laptop. So yeah, very cool. I thank all of you for sending gifts my way. Very cool of you.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Did we cut out?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I just, you were talking about your birthday stuff.
So there we go.
I was listening. So.
And then Trenton was very kind and sent some stuff too.
Yes. He also treated you to sushi.
Yes, he did. I mean, I was like, look, I don't deserve this much.
Sushi sounds good. I haven't had sushi in a long time.
Oh, I want more sushi.
Actually, I'm kind of afraid to eat it lately.
Oh, why?
Well, no, because you hear about, there's like higher mercury levels and stuff. And I get paranoid about, you're going to laugh. I get paranoid about parasites in fish and meat, but it doesn't mean I want to be a vegan. Like, I still want to be a carnivore. But I have too many people send me pictures because they know it squicks me out of like fish with parasites in their mouths, and I'm like, I don't want to eat fish anymore.
Oh, the tongue eating mite.
Yeah,
That
people
thing.
send that to me to fuck with me. I'm just like, you assholes. It's like,
Oh,
I'm hungry for some halibut. Oh, here, look at this parasite. Like, fuck you.
Okay, I'm gonna make you geek then.
No,
Okay.
why would you do that?
Because I have to share my pain. The tongue eating mites, they do geek me out, but I'm like, I'm never gonna run into one of those. And then I watched a program about a woman who was eating a can of tuna, and she saw what looked like a little chibi, baby octopus sitting there in her tuna. And she it was dead. It was obviously dead, but she couldn't really figure out what the hell it was. So she put it in a container and took it down to the local university, and they tested it. And it was the larva of one of those tongue-eating mites.
Fuck.
It's like, oh dear God.
Oh, okay, this is payback.
Wait. That was in a can of tuna?
That was in a can of tuna. No, it was dead because tuna's cooked. So, no harm. It's not going to hurt you. But yes, it was in a can of tuna. And it was just sitting there looking at her because it had eyeballs. And it's like, ah!
Oh.
Why did you have to tell me about that? We've got a cabinet full of tuna.
Hey, I've been eating tuna every day, so
I was gonna say I have a bunch of tuna because I like to make tuna salads and eat it. Now I'm like, I'm gonna be staring at them.
No, just look at the can when you open it and just see if there's anything with eyeballs. And if there's not, then you're good.
Well, no. How do you know if the mite's in there when it's alive?
Because it's cooked.
No. How would you identify the mite's alive?
It would be moving.
Okay, so you can actually see the damn thing?
Yeah, it was about yay big. It was.
Well, then how the hell did they get in people's mouths?
No, they don't get in people's mouths. They get in fish's mouths.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
somebody's writing the same type of stuff about you now. It's Iron Cast Night about Wendigos and you.
No, I think I got you confused. It had been in the tuna, and then the tuna was cooked and put in a can. So it's dead. It's dead. It's not going to hurt you.
Well, how can anyone get these things eating their tongue?
You don't. Humans don't.
Then why are we all freaked out about it?
Because they're gross.
It's gross.
Have you seen these things?
No.
Look
no.
at them.
I'm not.
Well, fine. I'm getting my phone.
Oh,
and I'm
fuck
looking
you.
it up.
Don't do that.
You're confused. So I have to educate.
You're a horrible person.
Oh my gosh, this devolved from how tits are being, taken away out of games to parasites in our food. Oh shit. Oh.
Okay, so let's see.
I still want
2080. Sushi. Oh, dude. I could totally go for sushi.
Hitman Wonder says, I've been reading 2000 AD stories. They're fun, but the odd anti-human stance of chaos worship was cringe. I stopped reading them once they started getting really stupid woke. Are you reading current ones or older ones? Because I know Tharg liked to taunt humans.
Was Tharg Alan Moore's run?
Oh no, Tharg was the host of the magazine who would talk to you at the beginning, kind of like the Crypt Keeper.
Oh, okay. Well, I know he did write. I have a digital copy of his comic strips for 2000 AD that would be in those books. So maybe it's that magazine I got the digital copy of.
He's got a number of different characters. I'm trying to remember. There was his ripoff of OC and Stiggs that you're probably thinking of.
Okay.
There you go.
God, fuck you. Cat loomed over the alien, her skin luminescent with the faint moonlight. The alien stepped forward. his unsure, plodding feet causing him to fall. She knelt and caught his face in her breasts.
I'm serious here. Can somebody like archive these in the Discord? I'm not near my computer.
Yes, please, because I actually do go on the Discord. I don't know if people know it's me though. Just to let everybody know, my Discord is Super Nerd 1979. So that's also my gamer tag. So, because I think I've commented a couple of times and people are kind of like, "Who the fuck are you?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, nobody knows my gamer tag."
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, so I'm Super Nerd 1979. That's also my Xbox gamer tag.
Cool. Okay, I'm so friending you.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if you hit me up and you give me a message, let me know it's you. Just be like, "Hey, this is Kat," So then I won't be like, "Okay, you're not some weirdo who's trying to get me to sext with you," because I've actually had that happen before.
It's been a while, but I've been off of the internet, or at least in those places where that would happen. So, okay.
Well, I actually just tell people now, I'm like, I'm seriously old enough to be your mom. Don't do it.
Just picture your mom and then ask me again.
Yeah.
Ironcast Knight. Ishi's black almond eyes widened as the Wendigo spread its legs willingly upon its cold metal table, but his slender gray fingers did not cease in directing the probe to its destination. Science.
So Wendigos are like bony ice creatures that scream.
I agree.
And they're also cannibals.
Yes.
That's how they become Wendigos.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of terrifying.
Oh, Wolf, I'm sorry. You said hi to me and I didn't see it. Hello. I miss you. And Shanae. You both need to come back.
That was a
I don't
fun
know if you got
cast.
to listen to that episode, Kat, from last.
Yeah.
No, it was Monday. Yeah. The Dune episode.
Yeah, my now here's hoping, cross your fingers, but currently they have me working from home 4 days a week. I'm petitioning to try to get it down to 3 days a week, but I have to wait until my review before I can ask. So here's hoping. Fair Maiden, Ishi and Cat Show, come for the boobs, stay for the parasites, including mentions of Linda Sarkeesian.
Linda or
Anita. All good.
But
let's just call her the ultimate
She is
Karen.
a parasite.
Were you confusing her for Linda Sarsour?
Yeah, probably.
All good. It's like the answer is yes to everything.
Oh, okay. So you are reading the older ones, Hitman Wander. Okay, well, the anti-human stance, just realize they're Brits and they're cynical. And if the thing with the Brits is they had, or they used to, I don't know, they seem to have gone awry here. They've overly become too multicultural to the point of they're unrecognizable in London.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind that whole British keep calm and carry on, soldier through kind of thing is also real, but also usually when you're dealing with a Brit, it's not that just the glass is half empty, it's piss.
Yep.
Is it Brits or is that Scotsman?
No, Scotsmen are fuck you.
Yeah.
They'll punch you.
Wait, I've told you guys the Scottish story before, right? When Steve and I were in London for our honeymoon.
No.
Oh, okay. I love this story. So, we were going down to the metro to use the tubes because we'd finally figured them out. We knew how to get all over London, and I'm buying our tickets at the machine and we hear this loud raucous going on. And these two dudes come falling down the stairs. I mean, we're talking cartoon bouncing down the stairs and nobody makes a move. And Steve rushes over there and one guy is like crawling around. Yes, you control me. So one guy's crawling around looking for his Sprite bottle and the other guy's just trying to get up and Steve's like, "Are you okay?" And the dude puts his arm around Steve and he's all, I'm Scottish. I'm fucking Scottish. They were piss drunk. Their alcohol was in this Sprite bottle, which the guy was trying to find. And the guy just kept going, yeah, I'm fucking Scottish, man.
Oh my God.
Steve's dying. He's got tears coming down his eyes. He's laughing so hard. He's like, I just want to make sure you're okay. That's when we realized that shit was normal in London, but we had never seen it before, because we're Yanks and we're over there as tourists. But apparently seeing people fall piss drunk down the stairs into the tubes was a normal occurrence.
Wow.
It just happened they were from fucking Scotland on a bender in London that weekend.
Oh my God.
It's one of the greatest things I've ever experienced in the world. So yeah, that's our Scottish story.
I love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so ADMW. You've been asking, and I'm trying to see if I can't get these converted into like one single file, a mix, and then I can upload them so you can hear them. But yeah, the 2 mixes I did that are continuous mixes back in the day. You wanted to know what the tracks are. I'll just name the bands, not the tracks. Mackay, Drift, Technical Itch, Dom and Roland, Ammo, Moving Fusion, Panacea, and Download are the first mix. And the second one, and by the way, Download is Kevin Key's project. The second one is a more hardcore mix, and it's DJ Scud, Aphasic, Paste, Needle Sharing, Kid 606, back when he actually did more of the gabber and drum and bass rather than the IDM. Alec Empire, Download, Dom and Roland, again Ammo, Speedy J, Typhoid, Panacea, Twisted Anger, and Pal. So there you go.
There you go. Dark Stranger, question. Why is sexy Aussie better than sexy Brit? Answer, because Aussies know how to go down under.
Their ladies have a very good gene pool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very much so.
But their politics
Mm-hmm.
leave a lot to be desired.
I'm quite disappointed. They were always the ornery ones. They always play, willing to take the piss out of it. My God, did they just bend over for wokeness in the drop of a hat?
Yeah.
I am
really
blown away.
weird.
I am blown away that they wussed out so hard. I was expecting something more like the American South, where it's like, fuck you.
Well, it was
South
just
or
weird to
Southwest?
see it from the country that gave us Mad Max,
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, Dead End Driveway. Or not Driveway, Drive-In.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever see Dead End Drive-In?
I've never seen the whole thing, but yeah, it's a cool movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never got to finish it either. I really want to finish it.
But yeah, I am shocked. Same thing with the Scots. What the hell happened with the Scots?
Train
Oh,
spotting.
Irish.
Huh?
Train spotting.
Yeah.
They all got hooked on drugs because they have their UBI.
Actually, I can tell you the other thing they did.
What?
They were dumb enough to elect nothing but feminists to parliament.
Hmm.
I'm not making that up.
I know.
Their police force are a bunch of Karens now.
Oh, that's sad.
They'll come to your door and bitch at you for posts you've made on Facebook and threaten to arrest you.
Shit. I forgot
But
about
wasn't that what happened to Dankula?
Yep.
Count Dankula? Yeah.
On the other hand, if you get knifed in the street, it's too dangerous for them.
Mm-hmm.
They can't handle it.
Oh, is that when, are you talking about when the one guy hacked the guard to death in front of people?
Yeah.
Oh, that was brutal.
Well, they have a serious problem just all across the UK now with violence.
Oh, it's not just the UK. France now, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, France is really suffering right now.
Daisy Cousins is a whole lot of class and very hot and very intelligent. But, I'm just used to Aussie girls having those tits. Yeah.
You guys are going to have to school me. Who is Daisy Cousins?
Daisy Cousins is another Gen Xer like us who back in the day was into the whole alt scene, punk, goth, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And really took the do-it-yourself ethic to heart. And when suddenly liberal was no longer liberal, and she realized, you know what, fuck it. You know what, I actually am more on the side of conservatism. She just she had no bones about it. She said, fuck you guys.
Oh, so kind of like what Johnny Rotten did?
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised to see that guy come out as a conservative.
And the other thing, to give a big fuck you, since her look had utterly been hijacked by the woke morons, who don't do it nearly as well, she started wearing Victorian clothing and Edwardian clothing, and does a damn good job at it.
Nice. I have to look her up now.
Yeah, she's fun. Very sharp wit too. Very, very sharp. What's her name? There's this really obnoxious fat feminist from Australia who's basically made a career out of being a complete bitch. And Cousins, one tweet destroyed her, which essentially she just commented on her weight.
That's the way to do it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Daisy Cousins.
Yeah. One woman. Yeah. Daisy Cousins just made one comment on her weight. And that was after months of harassment from this bitch that Cousins was ignoring.
I get tired of the fat feminists, and I'm a fat person, and yeah, like, it's my own stupid ass eating habits for years that have made me this way, and stop asking for body positivity because it's not going to happen. I honestly think fat people should be fat shamed. I'm always telling Steve, I'm like, you got to shame me, or I'm going to go for those Oreos when I'm stressed out.
That's not good.
Well, yeah, like, I've been struggling again because of all the stress with my mom. And finally I was like, Steve, we cannot have any more sugar in the house at all. And so, yeah, we cut that out. But it's been fun because I've been eating lots of meat. Like, Steve made a bunch of carne asada. I've been eating it for the last 4 days. It's phenomenal.
Kat can give you plenty of advice on making things taste like they have sugar in them, but they don't.
Yes, I have.
She has mastered healthy food.
I have, actually. I do say so myself. So.
Okay, well, you can, if you want to text me or send me an email later, because I have actually been using Lose It, but then I had another stressful event. I'm just like, fuck, no more sugar in this house at all. People, sugar is evil. Don't eat it.
Sugar is evil. Try to avoid it as much as possible. Okay, wait. I should say refined white sugar is fucking evil. Stay as far away from that as you possibly can. But actual sugar, like brown sugar or honey, is fine. What I actually started doing was I would make things that said use brown sugar, and then I do a combination of not sugars and molasses, because brown sugar is just sugar that still has the molasses in it still. So
I actually use that for making wine.
Perfect.
Now. Yeah, actually, I do have a recipe for a low carb apple cobbler, but I have replaced the crust. I use sugar alcohol instead, and for the actual fruit itself to kind of get it to juice, I use brown sugar instead.
Nice.
Okay, ADMW, I can answer this. Okay, you said, the amount of punks that give me shit for not being woke is insane. We used to be anti-establishment. Now y'all support government war. Hell, the hell, lol. I can answer that. Well, punk used to be anti-political. It was anarchy. It was do-it-yourself, self-sufficiency, fuck authority figures, and it was political in that it was not political. It was a rejection of the political. The message is it had no message. And it was a rejection to this because at the time, the music scene was dominated by pretentious rock stars getting up and making speeches at their concerts about the environment and oil and conservatism and Thatcher and blah, 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 blah. And so they thought, okay, we'll just turn it on its head. We'll wear the ugliest, unmatching clothing, the uncool clothing, the cheap clothing. We'll have the most ghetto-looking shows possible. We'll just get up there and play music, and that's it. And then this motherfucker named Jello Biafra showed up and decided, you know what? I'm going to dump all my retarded San Francisco woke politics into it. And then to add insult to injury, you had those fucktards called Bad Religion who decided they were going to have their little folk music influence come in and kind of revive all that folksy political shit from the 60s. And, suddenly the dominoes start tumbling. And the next thing you know, you got, fucking queermos like Green Day ruining the scene, pretending to be punk. Fuck you guys. Seriously. Johnny Rotten had it right when he said, punk's a lot of things, but it isn't these lads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's spread out like cancer too, because then you had bands like Rage Against the Machine come into the rock scene, talk about, how they were, who was it? Zach De La Rocha was so oppressed in his middle class life while his mom was teaching at it was UC Irvine.
Jesus, UC
He
Irvine?
he claimed that he got really upset at one of his geography teachers because the geography teacher called people, Mexican people, wetbacks. And I hope that doesn't get you taken off the air. I was just quoting him. And he said that he was truly offended and he realized that the Mexican people and Hispanics and Latinos didn't have the same rights and that everybody in California was racist. And I was like, are you stupid?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach De La Rocha is a fucking moron. And I can tell you how stupid he is in a minute if you want.
Oh, I'd love to hear it because I've never liked the guy.
Yeah, he's a spoiled rich kid who thinks he's edgy.
Yeah. He talked about how his dad was some sort of like folk musician in East LA. And I'm like, but your dad was never there while you were growing up, right? So yeah, that whole when he did the album Battle for Los Angeles, like, are you fucking kidding me? And I had a roommate that played, oh my God, I can't listen to Rage Against the Machine or Radiohead because he played it nonstop 24 hours.
The thing is, it was Killing in the Name of, it was fuck you, I ain't gonna do it, I tell you. Yeah. And that was the big popular thing. I think that was high school for me. Yeah, it was high school. And I remember at one point, every time that would come, people would play that, I'd start singing over top, fuck you, Dad, I won't clean my room. Fuck you, I won't clean my room. That's what I hear. That's what I fucking hear. I won't clean my room. But yeah, you know how fucking stupid Rage Against the Machine is?
Well, they're now Rage for the Machine.
Are they?
They're communists, okay? Keep in mind, they're proud communists and Castro supporters. And they decided they were going to play at the concert for freeing Tibet.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Wait, don't they also, Che Guevara was one of their big
yes,
idols too.
Right.
The guy that had no problem killing homosexuals.
Oh, there's pictures of Che posing with the dead bodies of women he'd hung upside down and shot.
Yeah. I don't understand why people say that guy's a fucking hero.
No.
Well, there's an easy answer to that.
Sure.
Because some people are some ideas are so fucking stupid, you have to be a liberal professor to understand them.
I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand how socialists can hold up these people as idols. Talking about how Castro was so wonderful to people and what else? Stalin wasn't as bad as you thought he was. I'm like, yo.
H.G. Wells thought he was a great guy.
Yeah. He also banged Margaret Sanger, though.
Yeah.
So he's not really a great judge of character.
Oh. Margaret Sanger. Is that the chick that created a Planned Parenthood?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, dude.
She wasn't a looker either.
Ugh.
He was enamored with her.
That's funny because Ayn Rand wasn't really a looker either, but her intellect made her super fucking sexy.
I agree.
Oh, okay. Like, seriously, she's not that great looking. I don't mean to be mean to Ayn Rand fans. I like Ayn Rand.
Her youth,
but then I hear her talk.
Plain. She was very, very plain.
Yeah. But I hear her talk. I'm like, dude, No wonder she's getting guys' dicks hard. Like,
Yeah.
her intellect is
Yeah,
unreal.
she has a huge brain.
Yes. My opinion, and I don't mean this to be insulting to us ladies, but I kind of feel
Mhm.
like she was a man in a woman's body. Like the way her logic was. She didn't have like female logic. And when I say that, it's like she
No,
was
I know what you
no
mean.
emotions. You know what I mean? Like emotions didn't cloud.
Okay, emotions didn't cloud. I would agree with you, at least until later in her life. But she was able to separate logic from illogical, and I also greatly appreciate and respect the "fuck you, it's my money, I can do what I want with it."
Yeah, I actually do think one of the appeals of why people liked her was literally, fuck you, it's my money, I can do what I want with
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they built an entire video game around her philosophy, and that was BioShock.
And they didn't even get it right.
No, they didn't.
They totally got it wrong.
I think that was the point, though.
Yeah.
Andrew Ryan was not a perfect person to make Rapture work.
Well, they obviously didn't understand her philosophies either, because the idea was how immoral everything was. You know, I can, so I will. That's never been libertarianism, or at least Randianism.
Mm-mm.
Randian philosophy also. This is the one that gets me, and I blame liberals 100% for this. Is so many people who get into libertarianism and specifically Randianism thinking it's amoral. Oh, I could just do whatever I want. It's like, no, actually, every step of the way, she keeps reiterating that you need a strong moral foundation, or none of it works.
Mm-hmm.
So say if your attitude is "fuck you, I can do whatever I want," then you're an anarchist. Or am I incorrect in that?
No, to a degree. Her philosophy is that it's not can I, it's who's going to stop me. Was her take. But the libertarian society and the philosophies she had put forward were essentially, the idea was that you had to have a civilization based on a strong moral foundation, and that moral people would behave morally. And that if you didn't have that moral foundation, that's what she got wrong, actually. That was her big failing, is assuming that morality, it was self-sustaining, and that morality was self-evident, and it isn't. Her big flaw was assuming morality was self-evident.
Oh, I did not know that about her.
Yeah, because it was a logical and sensible way to behave. That was where she got it horribly, horribly wrong. What she failed to understand is that to make moral people, and this is what Heinlein did understand in Starship Troopers. Did you notice how much Starship Troopers, the novel, focused on moral foundation?
Yes. It's been a long time since I've read it, but yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, he was basically giving a vision of a Randian society and how would you make it work? And he filled in the gap that was missing in her philosophy. Where does that moral foundation come from? You just can't have smart people suddenly looking at the situation and thinking, okay, clearly that's how things have to be done. Clearly, fair play is better than cheating. Because, yeah, she did not want people to cheat. That was not rewarded. A lot of the things that is assumed about her is just completely wrong. And they have no idea what it's really about. I actually did an episode a few months ago where I was so annoyed with the constant claims that Rand was an anarcho-capitalist that I sat down and just read chunks of her philosophical writings and went to every section where she's going on about how important moral foundation is.
Where only writings of hers that I know of are The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. So she has more?
There's We the Living, there's Anthem.
Well, Anthem, everyone should read. That should be required reading by every high school. No, I was actually talking about her books on philosophy, not even fiction. It was just her philosophical writings.
Okay. And I know that my husband has a small Ayn Rand library because he was into my husband was a hardcore libertarian back in the day.
Mhm.
And not like libertarian like now. We're talking mid to late 90s up to early 2000s before he started getting tired of their bullshit. And he had like a small group of her books, and I always looked at him like I should read that. And then like because I sometimes I don't have brain power, I'd be like, ooh, new manga.
Well, the thing is, you get more out of it if you just read Starship Trooper and Moon is a Harsh Mistress. You get the same information, but better.
I've always wanted to read Moon is a Harsh
It's a great
Mistress.
novel. I'll be right back.
I read The Cat Who Walks Through Walls, and that is a book that's connected to Moon is a Harsh Mistress. It was good. I highly recommend The Cat Who Walks Through Walls. That was a good satirical book.
I haven't read it yet. I've been wanting to read more of his works, just in general.
One of the main characters from The Moon is a Harsh Mistress, Hazel, I think was her name, is a main character, but she goes by a different name in The Cat Who Walks Through Walls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess that book, Cat Walks Through Walls, Moon is a Harsh Mistress, and another book are all connected. And then there's a lot of characters from his other books that show up in The Cat Who Walks Through Walls because it's about basically the Mandela effect, where if you do something, it creates different timelines, like a specific massive event will happen. And they're kind of going through trying to fix timelines and correct things and make sure things happen. That's what The Cat That Walks Through Walls. It's kind of his way of bringing all his books together and his characters. Like, was it Lazarus Long? I think is one of them. And yeah, I highly recommend it. It was the first Heinlein book I ever read, so I came in on that was like one of the last books he wrote. So I was kind of confused, but it was really good. I read it after I saw Starship Troopers for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forget who had it, and they just gave it to me because I was like, oh, hey, I know this guy's the guy that wrote Starship Troopers. And then the second book I read of his was Starship Troopers.
That was the first book of his that I read. And I saw the movie, and my dad said, so you enjoyed that, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I really liked it. So the second we got back to his house, he went over to his bookshelf, pulled it off the shelf, and handed it to me and said, here. So
was Heinlein the one that did Harrison Bergeron as well? The short story Harrison Bergeron, or was that Vonnegut?
I want to think that's Vonnegut, but I'm awful at recalling that. So Ishii would know when he gets back. So
okay. Yeah, because at the same time that I discovered Heinlein, I discovered Kurt Vonnegut. So I read Starship Troopers, and then I read Slaughterhouse-5 right after it.
Bar One says it was Vonnegut, and I read Slaughterhouse actually about 6 years ago. So I came way late to Vonnegut.
I like Vonnegut because the guy started out, I believe, as an ad salesman, and he knew how to advertise himself. So he kind of made himself this crazy author and would write these stories that were kind of unhinged. But apparently he wasn't unhinged. It was just a facade of what he was trying to get people to see. So I like Slaughterhouse-5. I thought it was a very interesting take on somebody who fought in World War II and like how their PTSD kind of made them crack, and you couldn't really tell if like the crazy shit was happening to them or not.
Yeah.
Because I remember. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say he would talk about what it was like to be a POW to the Nazis, but then he would bounce to the future or to the present where he had his wife, but then he'd bounce to the future where he was part of a human zoo where he was banging a hot movie star for aliens to watch them breed. I was like, that is some weird shit going on in this book.
Yeah, and it's like, usually with books you have you can have the unreliable narrator, and in this it's like you don't care, you're along for the ride.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, I don't care if he's, unreliable or not because the story is just so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first heard of Slaughterhouse-Five, I thought it was a horror book because Slaughterhouse, not realizing that was, I believe, where they were imprisoned or they were sent to when he was a
Mm-hmm.
POW, was the fifth Slaughterhouse, Slaughterhouse-Five. And so the book wasn't what I was expecting it to be, so I guess I was pleasantly surprised when I read it.
I'll admit, it took me a long time to read it because of the title, and nobody had explained to me what it was about other than, oh man, it's a mind fuck. I'm like, mind fuck, Slaughterhouse-Five. I'm not really feeling this. And then Ishii actually explained, no, it's not what you think. Yeah, like, okay.
So I didn't even have anybody explain it to me. I was just told I should read Vonnegut's works. My cousins told me to read it. Because they were huge Vonnegut fans. And so, of course, I picked up Slaughterhouse-Five because number one, that was like his most popular book. And number two, like I said, I thought it was a horror story. I
Mm-hmm.
was not expecting what I got, but I was pleasantly surprised. Like, this book is fucking great. It's so weird. I love it.
No, I highly recommend it to anybody. I need to read more of his stuff. I need to read a lot more of a lot of people's stuff.
You know what? I have found that social media has been a time suck for me. So I started removing everything, Twitter, Reddit. I haven't removed Instagram because that's how I stay in contact with people, but Facebook is gone. Like, I realize I spend so much time on my phone browsing through Reddit anymore that I'm not reading. I have a stack of books that I bought from Ralts, and I have John De La Rosa's book to read, and like I've been sitting on Reddit on my ass reading
Every
about
time you
stupid
read one of
shit.
these, please come on and review it.
Oh, they're books?
Yeah, definitely. I want to hear what you think after you read these.
Okay,
Anytime you read a book that we've from an author we brought on, we would love to hear feedback, and from the rest of you too.
Oh God, who is it? The guy that wrote the Paxton Locke series. Daniel Humphreys, I think,
Yeah.
was the guy. Okay, his book is really good, and I'm going to tell you why. I had to quit reading halfway through. I was so pissed at the antagonist winning that I got so mad I threw the book. That guy is a
Oh,
fucking
wow.
phenomenal writer to make me do that. And I have not gone, I just, every time I try to go back to it and read it, my teeth start clenching. I'm just like, fuck this bitch. And I can't do it. So,
Okay.
I mean, to me, that's a compliment. That guy has written a character that has pissed me off so bad. I cannot continue reading the book, and I know I need to because it's so fucking good. So yes,
Wow. No, that's
Daniel
praise
Humphreys,
indeed.
you have done a fantastic job because I really want to finish the book, but I can't because I'm so mad.
Okay, so I'm going to derail quickly, go back a few steps, and then we'll continue on. Hopefully,
Okay.
I don't butcher this. I just want to read a small portion of Rand's writings on good and evil and morals. This whole idea that it's an amoral philosophy is bullshit. Okay, there is no man's land between contradictions of principles. There is no middle of the road that is untouched by either shape or equality both. Even though most short-range mentality cannot escape the influence of principle, as conceptual beings, he cannot act without the guidance of the fundamental intentions, whether explicit or implicit. Just as in bad economics, bad money drives out good, in morality, bad principles drive out good. If a man tries to combine rational principles with its antithesis, he thereby eliminates the former and guides and adapts the latter. This mechanism by which the conceptual faculty okay, that's basically the point being is that if you start compromising with evil, you're just going to get evil. And this doesn't sound like an amoral philosophy. If, like Faust, you try to make a deal with the devil, then you lose to him completely. In any compromise between food and poison, it is only death that can win. In any compromise between good and evil, only evil can profit. The reason for this is not that evil is more powerful than good. On the contrary, the reason that evil is powerless, therefore, can only exist as a parasite to good. The good is rational. It is it is that which confronts the facts and reality and thereby fosters a man's life. Principles must be upheld to the absolute and practiced without contradiction. To acquiesce is no advantage to its antithesis. So basically, yeah, you cannot bend and compromise with evil. Does this sound even remotely amoral?
That you can.
You can't.
No, you can't.
That she's comparing good and evil to food and poison, and if you compromise between food and poison, you can only die.
Not necessarily true, but
you see what I mean.
Yeah. Because I mean, I can see where she's coming from, because I mean, we're kind of going through that with our society right now. That a lot of people have compromised on evil things, and now look at like what's going on right now. We got pedophiles running around and like able to get away with shit.
Well, there are large sections of this book that actually warned of all this, which is crazy.
Okay, when you were talking, I was like, oh, that kind of sounds like what people have been warning about. So
yeah, she goes through this whole thing about how she talks about how the left likes to talk about human truths and black truths and white truths and homosexual truths, and starts talking about this whole idea that we can only perceive a skewed version of reality, that there is no objective reality, is a crutch and an excuse to basically be amoral and justify living an immoral life, and that's ultimately where it leads.
I need to read her philosophical stuff, because now I kind of want to go down a rabbit hole, but I don't want to do that on the show. I need to do a rabbit hole tonight with her I can't talk now. Philosophical writings.
Anthem's a good place to start.
ADMW says, I used to be an objectivist till I realized people aren't reasonable. That was the mistake Rand made. She assumed with enough information and with enough support, people could see reason. She did not factor in that there are those who are so strong in their faith to unreality. And I'm not talking about like religion and stuff. That's different. That's moral. That's a moral foundation. I'm talking about, oh, well, nothing we do matters. That kind of unreality, or trust the science. No.
I hate that fucking saying. I'm sorry. I just hate it.
Read the science. Don't trust the science. Read the science.
I mean, oh, go ahead.
No, it's the idea of putting this religious faith into human bodies, human organizations, is ridiculous and a bad choice.
Well, 100 years ago, people thought that science stemmed from the Bible, and that all the stories in the Bible were 100% true.
Well, there was sense to that, though. I mean, it was wrong, but
well, yeah, but that's my point. Is it's not trust the science. It's like no. As we learn and grow as people, we learn new things, and also science reports can say what you want them to. You can gather data and then skew that data to say whatever you want it to. What you gathered is absolutely 100% correct, but what you tell people might not be.
Right. The thing about faith that I think we get wrong is that faith really is dependent on faith, that which you believe without evidence. And that really should root to the higher planes of existence and perception that we're incapable of seeing. You have faith. Well, like for instance here, you want my faith? I mean, it's not very deep, but the universe tends toward order. Yes, eventually we're going to run down through entropy, but long as there is energy, there seems to be a tendency towards everything forming systems. There you go. Yeah. And I have faith that serves a purpose. Yeah, theology should be left in the realm of theology. If you're applying science to your theology, you're looking into theology for all the wrong reasons.
Agreed.
Theology should be there to answer the questions that can't be answered, to give meaning and purpose to your life, things that science can never give you.
Yeah.
That's one thing I have a problem with hardcore atheists, not you guys, because you guys are logical atheists.
I don't even know if
Is
Kat's
they
an atheist.
worship science. So
Are
they're
you an
not
atheist?
really me?
No, I'm asking Kat. I didn't know.
Are you agnostic or
I think there's something after now, but after that, I haven't come across anything formalized that makes sense to me. So
you're more, I don't want to say spiritual, but you
There's
believe
nothing
there's
wrong.
something. Yeah,
I
there's
believe
nothing.
there's something. Now, on the other hand, with a lot of the, I have been doing a shit ton of research lately into the spiritualist movement. I think it's because, well, not to get too morbid, but had a lot of family members die recently. And I am definitely of the mind of Houdini, who was 100% a believer, but wanted actual evidence and never found it. Therefore, said basically all of these people are charlatans and we don't know what comes after. So it's like, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I realize this sounds like kind of a dick thing coming from an atheist, but frankly, in my opinion, if you're a Christian, don't look to science to find God. Seriously.
No,
You're looking in the wrong place. God doesn't, that's
I think
beyond science.
I agree. I'm a Christian and I'm not looking at science to solve if I can find God because it's faith-based. Some things really just need to be taken on faith.
exactly.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of the belief in religion or God. And I'm not just saying my religion. I'm saying other religions. That not
Joe?
everything has to be proven.
Well, that and I don't know. I feel like I'm a moral person, and there's certain, because we're all sharing this existence at this very moment in time, we should all be decent to one another.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
see, I believe that we developed that evolutionarily.
Mhm.
I think that we developed that ourselves, but whether that came from God or, systems, a tendency toward order, doesn't really matter.
No.
It should be adhered to. And even though I'm not a believer, I can see the absolute good that Christian morals have done for society. And it would be stupid not to see that value and keep them.
Or at least in Western society.
Yeah, Western society. And I don't mean Old Testament stuff. I mean New Testament.
Mhm.
By the way, so Joe says not long ago science said white people were superior to all other races. Joe, that is so fucking wrong. Grays are superior to the gray race is the superior one.
A while back, I saw that I think it was Neostar was asking for any good Steve Ditko to read. I am going to recommend starting with his Doctor Strange run. The art is gorgeous, and that is one hell of a trippy run. I like old school Doctor Strange. I guess because we were talking about libertarians. I think Steve Ditko was a hardcore libertarian,
big
right?
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was a Randian.
And I love Doctor Strange.
Oh, the old Doctor Strange. That's some good shit.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing that I would want to bring up too is, where was it? Oh, it's gone. Never mind. That.
Oh, you want me to read that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
My great grandpa was a spiritualist. After one bad and frightening session, he quit it completely and went straight to his church and started to become a Christian preacher that very day. That's very interesting. That's extremely interesting. I'd be curious what happened, but I wouldn't ask because I know it's a private thing. It's a very private thing. But yeah.
Actually, it would be interesting to get John on to talk about Christianity since he's such a... I have a lot of respect for the fact that John is just thoroughly unapologetic about it. In this day and age when you're supposed to be ashamed of your faith, I love his screw you attitude about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we
can
need more of
appreciate that
We do
quite
need
a
more of
bit.
that.
Because a lot of people I know always get on my ass about being a Christian. Why won't you switch to being a pagan? They're so much better.
And by the way,
Wow.
if you're wondering which John I'm talking about, Del Raz, not Stephen Walsh, John Del Raz. I love the fact that he's got that in your face. Yeah, I'm Christian. What about it? Or I think he's Catholic actually, but
no, I'm with you, Janelle. I can remember being younger and it's like, oh, being a pagan's so much better, and then I kind of grew out of it and it's like, well, how exactly? How is it, quote, so much better? What is it exactly are you comparing it to? I mean, better for you. Okay, good for you. But
well, I'm always just told that it's obvious that God is mean and pagan is so much more peaceful. And I'm like, I've read about pagan religions in the past. Did you ever follow what the fucking Vikings did to people?
no, what was pissing me off about neo-pagan is they're in the polite ones will just refuse to acknowledge, and the unpolite ones would get downright mean about saying that there are two aspects, male and female, and that I'm like, well, shouldn't you worship a god as well as a goddess? And man, I got some serious hate for that shit. And I'd even bring up, look, Scott Cunningham, who wrote all those books about Wicca, he even recognized that there's two aspects that you should be looking at. And it's like, no, we worship the goddamn goddess, god damn it. It's like, okay.
well,
That's something I've noticed too, because there's the goddess and then there's the green man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing a lot of people don't understand. Paganism and Druidic worship is not like one church,
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said neo-pagan.
There was countless flavors depending on where you were in the world.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, the Irish had a trinity. Does anyone ever talk about that?
No.
They had a trinity.
But that's where you get the Triscally from, and I know I'm slaughtering that word, but damn it.
And each part of the trinity had three of its own aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But if paganism was such an awesome religion, why were the Irish so quick to convert? Really?
They're still some of the most hardcore Catholics out there, aren't they?
It's because even though paganism served a practical purpose, they found Christianity a much better deal, a much better and more equitable deal. And the problem with the pagan view is that you were essentially appeasing the earth and the forces beyond your control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was, I think people seem to forget that the Earth Mother is a cruel mistress. This is the Earth Mother doesn't just give birth, it also sends plagues.
Yeah.
Famines.
Not every pagan or Wiccan I know is mean. But yeah, I've encountered some that have just been like, I don't understand why you're a Christian. It just drives me nuts. I do actually have a cool historical pagan story if you guys want to hear it real quick that Steve discovered. You guys want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay, so when the Romans were invading the British Isles and they were trying to, assert their dominance, take it over, they were fighting against the Druids, and they came across a group of Druids that were doing a ceremony to their god to ask their god for help for fighting against the Romans and not letting them take them over. And so the Romans saw them doing all this crazy sacrifice and they were like, oh God, let's go invade them now because this is some heathen crazy shit. So the Druids threw themselves at the Romans and got slaughtered, and they couldn't believe how easy it was, but how weird that they were throwing themselves so much into battle. Well, the two Druid priestesses that were left lit themselves and the whole field on fire. And it turned out they decided to become a mass sacrifice to their god and threw themselves at the Romans to sacrifice themselves before being burnt.
Whoa.
That's pretty hardcore.
That's very hardcore.
Yeah. So Steve, because he was reading something about Roman Britain, and that was one of the accounts, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah. That, and I know the campaign in Britannia was fucking brutal. I mean,
Well, you want to know what happened right after that? Boudica rose up with her rebellion. Yeah, against the Romans. So I mean, that's why they went so hard against Boudica, is because they saw that and were like, oh shit, because this is before the Romans were obviously converted to Christianity.
Mhm.
They also had their pantheon of gods. So they actually believed that the druid god was coming for them when Boudica rose up and went after him.
Tweldy says that he thinks that Christianity is the best religion. You know, actually, I want to give the atheist comment on this, from my view at least. I will say that there are aspects to Zen that I think really serve and answer questions or provide things for the here and now, and that Christianity isn't so good on. But on the other hand, Christianity provides something on the other side of the coin that Zen never did. And I think the thing that all of us, doesn't matter what you believe, okay, why Christianity is so fucking important compared to any other religion, okay? Christianity is responsible, and I mean New Testament Christianity, okay? We're not talking the fire and brimstone side. We're not talking Judeo-Christian. No, Christianity, Christendom specifically. Because of the Sermon on the Mount, because of that New Testament Christianity, what changed? It provided certain innovations that no other civilization, or if they had, few had even a concept of. The first and foremost, all men are judged by God. That meant that a king was no more noble or divine than the lowest of the low. That didn't exist, and that doesn't exist in most of the world still. And if you look around today, there are certainly elite segments of our civilization who don't like that they can't deem themselves as divine kings or better than everyone else in the Christian view. At the end of the day, you're all basically humans in the eyes of God. Second, every life is important. That needs to be stressed. If there was one thing I could get through the skull of every dense, out of touch, major metropolitan coastal elite, is that bullshit claim, oh, we all basically believe the same thing. No, we don't. The idea that every life is important, every life matters, everyone has a right to life, is not a universal view. That doesn't exist in most of the world. That certainly did not exist in Rome. That was a Christian innovation. And finally, anyone can be forgiven and redeemed. That didn't exist, and it still doesn't in most of the world. Those three things allowed us to give rise to our system of laws and basically formed the foundation of Western morals, okay? Which allowed all of this to happen. Where we are now, all came out of specifically that. And so even me as an atheist can see that this is something we should never let go of. So, there.
Agreed.
Oh, it's 9:30.
Yeah, I need to go make dinner because I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, it's Sunday. We can't.
Oh my gosh! I just realized. Yeah, my kid's probably already asleep because he's got school in the morning. Oops.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. He didn't come in. He usually comes in and says goodnight, but he must have passed out watching TV.
Oh.
Yeah, he's that age now where he can stay up and pass out watching TV. He's getting too old.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this rambling night that went all over the place. I'm going to urge all of you to go down to the description and check out the links. I'm selling t-shirts for my t-shirt line, Abduction Wear. There are links to buying all of my freaking books. And of course, I urge all of you, if you haven't already, check out the Titanium Rain audio drama, full cast, one of the best things I ever did. And I believe it's only $6.
And everyone, please join us on Discord. We'd love to see you. We'd love to see you comment. And I've been known to comment once or twice myself now. So.
And that is in the description as well. Yeah, I encourage everyone to go back there. Mm-hmm. Eloise has done an amazing job.
Yes, she did. And I know, Janelle, you said that you've been purging your social media. Is there any place people can still find you?
I'm still on Instagram at Super Janelle, but I have not purged Discord because I am a gamer. So you guys can find me on Discord, Super Nerd 1979. I usually comment now and then. Just hit me up if you have any questions or you just want to hear weird stories.
Awesome.
I got lots of those.
JC, the Discord link is in the description.
Yep.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks,
Night.
everybody.